Hello, everybody. This is Insa at the Up Radio Podcast, the Urban Poet Radio Podcast. Recording February 23rd, 2013, Saturday morning, early in the morning. I'm just reporting what time I'm recording. You can listen to this at any time that you like, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Yes, I will always be there for you, digitally. Let's get this party started. Hey, we had a great night on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the third Wednesday at Mahogany. That's when I host. And it was amazing. It was an amazing night. Our feature poet was Patrice Hill. There were so many people there. It was packed. The open mic list was bonkers. Yes, I said it. It was bonkers. I used the word bonkers. It was crazy. Every third Wednesday, I try to draw a special open mic list, and this time, because we had a woman, I try to make it feminine one, and so I had a great idea that I would draw an inspiration fairy. I don't know if I came across as an inspiration fairy, but I tried. And at the end of the night, the poor girl, had tattoos all over her face. So you can see that open mic list on my Facebook page, Inside the Black Root. And you can go and search me out and find that, like my page, please. And so that you can get all the information on stuff that's going on, where I be at. So, yes, it was crazy. And there was also one person, I will not say any names, that signed the list because they just wanted to be on the list. So when I scan it and put it online, they'll be on the list. Shame on you. Shame. If you can't see me, I'm like, I'm doing my little finger in that shame fashion, shame gesture. It's a shame, just a shame. Also, too, another thing that came up that I want to touch on right now, and it was in Kyrie's poem, talking about somebody that was talking about why don't Mahogany start on time, So I know that I can't put this to rest, but I'm going to take a stab at it, right? Like we in jail, in prison. I'm gonna shank it. Why don't Mahogany start on time? Why, Lord? Look, I'm gonna get existential on you. Mahogany do start on time. It starts when you get there. Ha. I blew your mind. I know I did. I blew your mind. It starts when you get there. Or it starts earlier if you get there early, because the kitchen closes at 9, so you might want to get there early so you get something to eat, and because during the night we do run long. It's a late night. It's almost like a poetry jute joint, right? We run late into the night, and so get there at 9 to sign for the open mic, because you could come on a night where it was like this week, where if you came too late, you couldn't get on mic list because we had to shut down the open mic list, or we'd be there. We'd still be there listening to poets. But why don't Mahogany start on time? We do start on time. We start when you get there. Mahogany is not a show, per se. It is a gathering of poets. It is a social phenomenon. You get there, you talk, you relax, you see somebody else you want to talk to, you see a cute girl, you're like, oh, she's cute, or for the girls, you see a handsome guy, whatever, and y'all talk, y'all exchange poetry, y'all exchange glances or whatever. It don't matter. And we start when we vibing. This week, which I found, which was awesome to me, Kyrie was on the digital ones and twos, or as he's known when he gets on there this week, was Mitch Ocean. That was his personality tonight on the DJing ones and twos, digital ones and twos. He was playing music. People was dancing in the aisles. Everybody was on their feet. It was off the hook. It was what I live for. Just to have a good time among friends, among people that are cool. Nobody's talking about killing nobody or shooting or, all this kind of stuff. We can actually have fun and relax. Nobody is talking crazy sometimes, unless somebody come there already drunk. Then, that does happen sometimes. So, progressing forward in this broadcast. On Thursday, I went to Luna's Cafe. They had a great show. It was the premiere of WTF. They released it. I don't know if it's quarterly. I don't know if it's a quarterly or what is it. But it was a great show. It was packed as usual for WTF. And also, too, they had like a little band after WTF read, and Frank got up and read with the band, and I forgot what the other lady's name was. So maybe y'all can comment on this and let me know what her name was. But the band was called String Theory. David Houston and String Theory. Very cool. And so I bought the CD. I'm going to give it a listen. And so I liked what I heard. Black History Month. I don't know about you, but it just don't feel like Black History Month. It's almost like last year, It was, how last year's Christmas didn't really feel like Christmas. It didn't feel Christmassy last year. During December, right? So this year, during February, it don't seem very Black History-ish month-ish. So I don't know what's up with that. So I decided to spotlight a Black History person for this podcast, since we only have about 5 more days left of Black History Month. We might not go out with a bang, but hey, at least it's something. I'm going to try to pronounce her name. Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks. This is a very interesting story about this lady, African-American woman. The Mortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is a book by Rebecca Skloot. I saw her on, I believe, Democracy Now! And also, too, I saw the book around, salivating, wanting to get the book. But I know good and well I don't need any more books to try to read, because I got a big reading list right now. My dance card is full. But it is definitely on my want list, my wish list. But I did see on Democracy Now! A very interesting story about this lady who lived in 1951. She died of cancer, and her cells were extracted without her knowledge. Now, what's interesting about her cells is that her cells are immortal. They don't die. And come to find out that these cells have been implemental in all kind of stuff over history. It's almost like that movie, Forrest Gump, where he always finds himself in the right place at the right time during history. So he's with the Black Power movement. He's everywhere, that history takes a turn. He's with, Kennedy's and, all over, all during time. He's there, during his life. He's in all these important moments. And this is the way Henrietta Lacks cells are. They was one very important tools. I'm going from her website now, of Rebecca Skloot's website, the author of that book. Implemental in all these very important medical discoveries. right? Vital for developing the polio vaccine, for one. Cloning, gene mapping, vitro fertilization, and much, much more. They have made, the medical community have made billions of dollars off this lady's sales. Now, this is the kicker. This is the middle finger to this lady. Not only did they take her sales without her knowledge, but her family haven't seen 1 cent of all the money that her sales have brought in. Not 1 cent. It's almost like scientists going to the rainforest, right? It happens all the time. Going to the rainforest, like the herb that I think aspirin comes from, I think. Where they make these discoveries in these far off places. They bring it back, and the indigenous people don't know that they actually are being raped. So this is what's happening to this lady's family. This lady died of cancer, and the ironic part is that her family can't afford health insurance. So there's a documentary coming out about this lady, so you might want to catch it. They have, go to the lady's Rebecca Skloot. You can Google that, Skloot. I know it's a hard name. I'm terrible with names, but it's Skloot. That's her last name. Go ahead and Google that. I'm going to play a little excerpt of her YouTube thing here in a minute. Right now, I'm going to play it right now for you.
My basic biology teacher, when I was 16, said there are these cells that have been alive since 1951, and the woman they came from died, and she was black. Like, that was all he said. And I went, what? What are these cells, and why? Who was she, and did she have kids, and what do they think? And those moments, that's what writing is all about. Training yourself to recognize those big moments when they happen. They're the sort of what moments, and to just follow them wherever they're going to take you. The greatest responses that I get to the book usually starts with, I hate science, or I almost didn't read it because it was about cells and it sort of freaked me out, but then I couldn't stop. And a lot of what brings them through the story is the characters. The things that happen to them and the things that they do are really sort of too incredible. It's a story about family, and it's a story about what happens when you lose a mother, children trying to learn about their family, while at the same time you're learning that you actually benefited from their mother's death. Every single person out there, there's not a single person in the world really who hasn't benefited in some way from these cells. I've had kids come up to me saying, my mom had cancer when I was growing up, and she's alive because she took this drug that they used HeLa cells to develop. So I feel like all of these things that the family went through when Henrietta died, I didn't go through because Henrietta's cells helped save my mother. I talked about the story a lot, which is something a lot of writers don't do. I would meet people, out at a dinner party or something, and they'd say, what do you do? Oh, I'm just writing this book. What's it about? And I would always start off by saying, it's about the first immortal cells ever grown in culture. And they would go, like, really? Are you kidding? So I'd be like, no, it's interesting. And then I would start to tell the story of the family and the cells and what they did. And inevitably, everyone's reaction was the same. It was like their jaws would drop, and they would just like, really? What are you doing out of your house? Go home and write this book because I want to read it. Good science is all about following the data as it shows up and letting yourself be proven wrong and letting everything change while you're working on it. And I think writing is the same way. And I think that the process of this book was that. I mean, I started writing it thinking I was just writing a book about the cells and the woman they came from. What you imagine the unknown is going to be is never what it actually is.
Okay, that was great, wasn't it? That was awesome. So, also keeping with our theme of Black History Month here at the, second segment of our podcast. I'm about to end it right now. I am going to play my artist pick for today. And most of y'all know I love Straight Out Scribes. They are my favorite group, poetry group. And so off of Straight Out Scribes CD, Priorities, there is a poem on here that I love by Sajabu. It's called All I Want. And I'm going to play that because she has a list of very influential and, who's who of poets, writers, and artists in this poem that I dig. So give it a listen. Check it out. Here we go.
I want to write a poem so bad, I can taste the words, feel them oozing out my brain. When I go to sleep, they come whisking through my mind, half waking me, changing time dimensions. Blinking loud and orange and blue, write me, you. Write a poem like Gil Scott-Heron, Luda Baruka, Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni today. Words that will stay alive forever. I want to write a poem like Jane Cortez. Like Jane Cortez's piss-stained stares, like Marvin X and Hakeem Adabute. Gonna write this poem and say things that will make people quit being so stupid, crazy, ignorant, and lazy. Write about Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Winnie Mandela, Steve Biko, Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley poems that will make you stand up for your rights. Right? I want to write day and night until ink trickles from under my armpits down to my fingertips, and when a thought is caught, I can fling it down on paper and say, be you, thought you. Be yourselves, poems of self-satisfaction, self-love, and reaction to the slightest nuance of disturbance in our overwrought, underused, misconstrued psyche. Want to write a Gibran poem, a Langston poem, an Alice Walker poem, a Maya poem, a Gwendolyn Brooks poem. You were too powerful, too cold, too real, Sister Gwen. Can't remember how or when you made me want to write, and how Whittier made me want to write, and how Oscar Brown Jr. made me want to write. The Last Poets made me want to write, and how Nina Simone made me want to write, and Muhammad Ali made me want to write, and write Allah Akbar because Islam made me want to write. Krishna made me want to write. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo made me want to write. And the heavy weight carried by my people makes me want to write poems that will demolish chains, feed the hungry, free Mumia, Geronimo, the Move family, Mondo, Dulcie, Linda, and Leonard Peltier. Write for freedom to free animals of all kinds being held captive everywhere. Write for the planet, the infinite universe, communicate with outer space and know all the ups and downs and in-betweens of it. Then I write on walls, on cars, watch me, wish me, whoosh me, on dusty windows, freeway overpasses, kill your TV. I write Psycho Loves War Dog over and over and over again on everything I see. Then maybe when somebody steps to me with anything that's capricious, negative, malicious, or petty, they can look in my eyes and see with utter certainty that all I want to do is write.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. So, that has been the Up Radio podcast for today, February 23rd. Thank you for listening, and peace.